20-year-old Tommy wandering around. Was still in college. 20 years old. Just fratting it up.
That's the first thing my sister said, by the way. I sent her a recording that we did to get feedback.
Yeah.
She's like, Tommy's a frat bro, yeah? I was like, at what second of the episode did you pick up on that?
So when we were in Italy, for a friend's wedding a couple of months ago, and for a fraternity brother's wedding, and he's not like you can kind of pinpoint me as a fraternity man a little faster than you could him. Let's just say that. He has a PhD after all. And one of the bridesmaids was giving, her toast, and was just like, we're so happy that you didn't find like some dumb fraternity boy. And of course, you just heard me in the background going, just insert the most incredibly dumb fraternity bro laugh in the background.
If you had to pick one out of a crowd, you're an easy one to pick out of the crowd.
I am, and I've tried to tone that down in recent years. A little less salmon. The salmon shorts had to go.
Yeah. I don't see as much Southern Tide. I see some Common Projects.
Yeah.
Some nice Lulu trousers.
Yeah, we recently have almost entirely switched over to the knit polo just to try and defrat it a little bit.
Yeah.
And I golf too, which it just, it's like with one comes the other, but I tried not to just dress like I walked off the golf course constantly.
So I like this. Before we get into clothes, we could make a whole podcast. I could sit here and talk a whole podcast about clothes. Let's check the box, pull out some wisdom. Questionable. We'll try. So what we wish we knew 10 years ago is kind of a question kicking around in my head. And you're a spry chicken. I'm 32. So 10 years ago, as you said, you were in college. But think back to when you first set foot at the company you and I both worked at together. Like, what's the one thing you wish, or if you could tell yourself at that point something, what would it be?
Yeah, there's a lot of ways to go there. And obviously, since things worked out reasonably well, that would probably be the first thing, is to, one, like, don't worry too much, because things will work out. And the other would be to just keep trusting your instincts, because I think if you have a good gut and have a good ability to read the room, when you're just like young and lacking experience, it's hard to actually listen to that. And now, having done this, I feel like I'm just in this for a long enough period of time to where I feel like it turns out a lot of my gut instincts were right a lot of the time. And now I know that, and now I listen to my gut a lot more instinctively. And so I'm interested to see how that plays out over the next 10 years, as I have like 10 more years of experience behind me where I really leaned on that. And the answer could be like very, very different, but that's probably where I would start, is like, you could be like, wow, like objectively, there are a lot of times where I remember sitting in meetings or watching stuff play out and being like, I think I know how this might go, but I mean, I've only been here for 6 months or a year or whatever. What do I know? And I'll be damned. I was right.
For what it's worth, I trust your instincts. You're one of the few people in this world that I will have pick up the phone, send a text to if I'm usually pick up the phone if it's something big to me, might seem trivial outside, but to your episode 1 comment about thoughtful purchases and analysis, like that analysis bleeds over into every part of self. So your instincts are solid. I definitely agree on the, hey, trust that stuff works out. Like, you're good, responsible, intelligent, charismatic person, like so many things going for us that, like, just keep doing it, keep pushing yourself, things will work out. That's big. two things that the last couple of years, I took a sabbatical after I left the firm you and I were at and fell into Buddhism, and I was reading a book in a coffee shop, and just like a bunch of stuff started clicking, and kind of fell down that rabbit hole and have really tried to learn and grow and implement a lot of the philosophy there, and control what you can control, be present. Not always. I used to be so hyper focused about what's next, like good or bad, good and bad. And now just like try to be more present, like focus on what's here, keep an eye through the windshield for what's coming up ahead, but really try to be present. Like,
yeah, that is big. Like, it's so easy, especially if you are starting to see success in sales in your first couple of years. Like if you're going from like a, business development rep to senior business development rep, and, trying to eye like, whatever that first closing role promotion is going to be, being present is really valuable, and acknowledging that you always have something more to learn sets a really good tone, because you got to be honest with yourself. Like, there's a lot of us out there. There's a lot of people in sales. There's a lot of people doing well in sales. It doesn't necessarily make us like super special unicorns, because, it's like we've found something that thousands, maybe millions of other people have found out too, right? So like, we're not that special at the end of the day. So like, just being present and being good to other people goes so far. It's good for your relationships at whatever company you're at. Be kind to people, be good to them, listen to them, and same with your clients too, right? Like, I just watched Jerry Maguire for the first time, and it really struck me at the end when, if you don't know the plot of the movie, basically the gist of it is Tom Cruise is like, I have this vision for being a sports agent where instead of giving 1% of my attention to all of these different clients, I want to give like 100% of my attention to fewer clients. And he kind of accidentally ends up doing that. And at the end of the movie, a competing agent is like, one of his clients tells him, why don't we have a relationship like that? When he sees, Tom Cruise and his client hugging and having their big celebration moment. And that actually like kind of struck me. It's like, oh, damn, like that is kind of like the relationships we want to have in business. And you're not going to have that unless you're present and intentful with the people that you're talking to in the moment.
On to the fun.
So, yeah. Fit check.
Don't mind if we do.
Oh.
Yes, clothing. I'm trying to think of like, I've always cared about what I've worn. Mm-hmm. And I completely respect some people I had one college roommate who's like, the kicks are Kirkland, the khakis are Kirkland, the top's Kirkland. Mm-hmm. We roll. I love that. Some days I wish, Yep.
I do think late in life, I'm going to circle back to that, but in a very distinctive, like the jeans are Kirkland, the shoes just, Nike, whatever, the just white Kirkland shirt, but just a solid brick, just a gold Daytona on the wrist. That is such a power move.
I love it. We go high, we go low. The khakis are Kirkland, but the all gold watch is Patek.
Yes, right. like rose gold Nautilus chronograph.
You're like, wait, what?
I think that's cool.
I see that in your future, somewhere in the great zero income state of Florida. Maybe.
We'll see. My only gripe with Florida is there's nowhere good to drive.
Yeah,
nowhere good to drive.
That's very fair. And we've seen enough YouTube videos of Florida Highway Patrol. Like they're not Georgia, they're not GSP.
No,
but they get it. They also got some new 5.0s.
They do.
Stangs.
But that's not going to touch a 911 Turbo S.
This is true.
That Turbo S is going to walk away. That's a great state for a Turbo S. Just straight line, But anyway, my only gripe with Florida, that's just nowhere good to drive.
Yeah, this is fair. So on the fit track, clothes. Yeah, I've always cared about clothes. When I was on sabbatical, just taking time traveling, I did a huge purge, got rid of most of my clothes, and then started rebuilding, like very high quality, very low quantity relative to what the wardrobe used to look like. How is sales and like that trajectory? Is that this probably sounds like a dumb question, but does that influence the wardrobe at all?
Well, in various ways, like we were joking about my old fraternity house ways. And when I started working, I didn't really have any clothes. I had lived in gym clothes and golf polos for like all of college. And I went out and bought what I thought was a decent, respectable professional wardrobe, just, like blue and, stone chinos, and hit the Brooks Brothers 4 for 200. Back, it used to be like 4 for 150. They've really screwed you on shirts. Now I think it's like 3 for 220, or I might be a little wrong. I don't mean to throw Brooks Brothers under the bus that hard, but it used to be a better deal is my point. And I had one pair of jeans that I had actually stolen from a fraternity brother. And that's what I wore on casual Fridays, was my stolen fraternity brother jeans and whatever golf polo I had lying around. And it formed from there because we were in a pretty professional environment. Decent number of guys still wore suits. So as I started getting a little money, that was kind of where some of that started going, was like, not wearing chinos, but we're getting some tailored slacks and taking those, first groups of shirts that I bought and going and getting them tailored so that they, didn't give me the poofy pirate arms and stuff like that. You have to be able to visualize yourself. In my opinion, you have to be able to visualize yourself in those positions of winning. And how do you want to look in those situations? Do you want to look like you just, walked out of, a Macy's or something? Or do you want to look like you just walked out of, your Savile Row Taylor? How do you want to see yourself is what that comes down to.
Yeah. I've always loved suits for whatever reason. Probably influenced by being interested in politics as a kid, if I had to take a wild self-analytical stab. But what's your go to war fit? What's the boardroom Tommy look like?
The boardroom fit, we're going got a gray Corneliani suit. Do that with the Brooks Brothers, the Egyptian cotton, spread collar, white shirt, blue Ferragamo tie, black penny loafers, Rolex Explorer, all day, every day.
It's a solid combo.
Yeah.
This man came to attack.
What you going for?
I have a really dark blue Tom Ford suit. First Tom Ford suit. Love it. I had a GQ magazine put in my hand when I was a kid. Jennifer Aniston on the cover. I fell in love with two things that day. Two people, I guess. Jennifer Aniston and Tom Ford. Tom Ford suit. There's a tailor. I've spent a bunch of time in Thailand at fight camp, and while I was over there, I had some stuff made. Love the shirts. So one of those shirts, plain navy blue Hermes tie, and some John Lobb cap toe shoes, little English bench grade, and JLC reverso on the wrist.
Ooh.
That's the boardroom.
Yeah, that's
low-key killer.
Low-key killer. That's very tasteful. Very.
Yeah, I think its end's coming sometime. I think if I'm keeping this, the good complement to that is like a VC precious metal dress watch.
So I'm a big fan, not to take us back down the watch rabbit hole too much, but I don't know the reference number, the model, but the kind of cushion case, gold VC.
It's Patrimony, probably. It's just, I don't even think they do that with seconds. It's just like an hour and a minute. It's like curved.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a really, really cool case shape. I'm not a huge dress watch guy myself. The Explorer is as close to a dress watch as I think I can really pull off, just due to the size of my arms and shoulders. A lot of dress watches start to look really diminutive on me. But I think that case is pretty sweet. And that's something that I'm like, down the road. We have a little space in the watch winder.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, clothes have definitely, and that's another thing that I just kind of started getting into almost as it almost becomes a hobby, just kind of seeing what you like and the outfits that you can put together. I'm a big fan of being able to assemble essentially your uniform, put together your work uniform, whatever dress code that is. Like back in the day for me, that was having a couple of, plain or subtly patterned shirts and then just a rotation of chinos or slacks that I could go through, and at least a few pairs of shoes. I do think that's if maybe this is just a me problem, but I destroy shoes. I can rip through shoes so quickly, especially when, working in a downtown office setting, walking all the time. In 2 years, I had 2 different pairs of Oxfords recrafted because I ripped through them. Yeah. And part of that's because I'm just a big dude. But that's one thing that I started realizing. I was like, okay, the bigger base, the more shoes I buy, it even if it feels a little pricey initially, or felt a little pricey back in my 20s, early 20s, it did pay off just in the lack of hassle about it. Having enough time to let shoes dry out if you wear them for 10 hours a day, I mean, they got to dry out. There's just no two ways about it. And then I'd have stuff go off to get recrafted because I was destroying them. So I needed other pairs. And that's how that started. I was like, I'm down a pair of shoes. I got to go buy another one because I don't want to wear the same pair of shoes all week. Like, I might as well buy 2 pairs because, like, I don't want to just wear 2 pairs in 1 week. That's not enough time for them to heal. Yeah. And that kind of kickstarted things.
Yeah. I heard some advice when I was a kid that you spend good money on things that keep you off the ground: shoes, tires, mattress. And it's like, that's so true. Like, I was talking with Andrew the other day about, there was a mattress advertisement on during a baseball game. And I was like, just the best money you can spend. You spend a third of your life on a mattress, like, not the place to cheap out.
Yeah.
And similarly, like, clothing wise, now that I've pared stuff down, it's like cost per use from an earlier conversation. Like, it checks out. It fits. It's like everything gets worn. I don't have odd single of something that just sits and never gets worn. So you just rotate. All the t-shirts are one brand, all the suiting 2 brands, shoes, like, keep everything pretty consolidated. So now I know what I like, and as stuff wears out, I replace it. No more oddball shopping.
I am with you there. I do think brand hopping was something I did a little too much in my 20s, and it just created a very a wardrobe of things that never really went together. And later, more recently, the last couple of years have really just stuck to a handful of brands where I know things are all going to be pretty mix and match. And also just, I kind of accepted that there's only a few colors of pants that I even like wearing. I like wearing, stone colored pants and navy pants. And now that's basically all I buy, in different fabrics or whatever. So it's made it way more versatile for me to be able to just, like, plug and play stuff. So I'm not spending a ton of time. Not spending a ton of time each day thinking about it, but not because I don't care about it, just because I want it to be relatively easy and just like what I'm wearing and like how I see myself. So desimplify or simplifying it getting rid of stuff that was like a little more out there. Like for the longest time, I always had a pair of bright yellow pants in my closet. Like, what the hell do I do with these? I just didn't need that anymore. It was funny back, as being a big 250-pound fraternity bro in bright yellow pants. It kind of worked. It was kind of cool. But now it's
like the Easter bunny from your nightmares coming in hot.
Now we tone it down a little bit.
This is good. Speak softly and carry a big stick.
Damn.
If you had to take money out of the equation, which salespeople don't care about money. Take money out of the equation.
I'm a revenue guy. Yeah. I just worry about that top line and nothing else, baby.
I'm forward looking. What's coming in the door? That's what we're focused on. So assume really big door, money's no object. You can only shop for clothes at one store. Shoes are a different story, but you can only shop for clothing at one store. Rest of your life. What are you locking in?
Oh, damn. Does this include like gym clothes and stuff too? Or
no technical fabric. So
no
gym clothes and
fabrics.
shoes are in a separate category. The rest of the wardrobe.
I don't know. I feel like I'd be leaving something on the table to not go like really high end, but I have a hard time fitting into a lot of things that are made for Italians. Most Italians are not 6'3", 220 pounds.
Take fit out. Brioni does made to measure casual too. So
yeah, that's true.
what are you throwing on?
Damn.
Every time you look, you're like, fuck, this. I had to pick one shop, but I ain't unhappy with this one.
Yeah, that's true. I really do like what Zanya's putting out there. Nice color palette. Reasonable fit. You got a lot of good outerwear options through them too. Mm-hmm. So that's probably where I'd end up.
That's a solid choice. I see that for you.
Yeah.
That tracks. Mads Mikkelsen, their marketing campaigns with celebs are always great.
Dude, Mads Mikkelsen, Roman Roy.
Yeah. Willem Dafoe.
Yeah.
Like really sharp ads. Mine, no question. I like Tom Ford. I like Lord Piana. Brunello Cucinelli. Brunello. I'm coming for you. I get excited when I see a Brunello store, and then immediately I'm like, chill.
We both nearly got by the Brunello scam on Instagram.
Oh, that was so. I mean,
that came up on. You sent that out.
Yeah,
I had that come up on my Instagram like maybe a week before.
Really?
And as soon as I was like, shit.
I was like the official Brunello store is having an 80% off sale. Like, I'm about to swipe the shit out of this card.
I was like, don't put in your credit card information.
There's like an Amber alert going out. There's a Blondie alert going out. I'm like, no, that's not real. Yeah, I love it. I love the story. I'm a sucker for handmade stuff, good quality materials, story. Like, I like to know what I'm buying. And Brunello, like, of course, like, the prices are insane. So it's like, there's not really justification, but insofar as you can justify it, like, humanistic capitalism is what he calls it. Very philosophically minded gentleman. It's like, self-made billionaire, didn't come from a wealthy family, and ended up, like, treats employees right, where stuff is made. I think it's Solomeo, Italy. It's his childhood town, and he's funneled money back into the town, restored the church, like beautiful Italian hillside town. All the employees, gorgeous. They're all in Brunello. They're all working away, and then they go have lunch every day together. They stop working. Everybody goes to have lunch together. Lunch. Like, nobody works past 5 in the company. I'm like, this really is this is a dream fantasy world.
If Brunello got on the American work culture, I mean, they could cut prices at least in half.
That's true. Let's offshore this shit a little further.
I never thought offshoring to South Carolina was going to be the cheaper way to make sweaters, but
especially with tariffs. I didn't even think about that.
Oh, well, dude, I'm so glad I got this watch before tariffs kicked in, because Omega's about to up 39%.
That's what they're going up by? 30?
Well, that's the tariff.
Oh,
I got to assume, which is wild. You used to be able to get a Speedmaster for like $5,000 retail.
It's going to be a $10,000 watch.
At least.
Yeah.
Ouch.
That's rough.
Ouch.
Rough.
Yeah.
So
but
we've covered the fabric-y side of this.
Yeah.
Do you want to roll us into what I think this is your, I might be king of the cashmere, but king of the deal sleds might be your title.
Yeah. I am fond of just wrapping some bare feet in fine Italian leather. Except it gave me some athlete's foot recently. So we had to calm down on that a little.
Next to godliness.
That's what I get for showering in the gym.
You bring ringworm into my...
It's gone now. It's gone. Yeah, no, definitely. I like, as so many were inspired by, the finance Instagram of the 20 teens, like Arbitrage Andy. Arbitrage Andy really gets a lot of the credit for popularizing the deal sled, which, if you're unfamiliar, is a leather horse bit loafer. The classics being the Gucci 1953, Ferragamo. Alan Edmonds has been making a couple for a long time, of which I've got a few pairs. But I think the deal sled is mostly, it's a fashionable item, but it's also like a statement. Very much so. Like there's kind of a culture, more so in like investment banking, where like, you better be a managing director if you show up in horse bits. And in sales, a little less hierarchical, but you better be closing some loans. In my opinion, you better be closing some deals if you show up in the Gucci loafers.
Yeah, deal sleds are for closers.
Deal sleds are for closers.
You have a
100%.
a young whippersnapper walks in day one, fresh out of college, and it's like, bro, you've done nothing. You're months away from doing anything, and you're strolling in here like you own the place.
It fits a nice price point of aspiration, though, for young 20-somethings, because buying a Rolex or a nice watch, or Omega, anything like that, is a pretty big ticket, right? If you haven't had a deep 5-figure month yet, that feels so unobtainable. But you feel like if you just budget right, you can scrap together enough money to get yourself a nice pair of loafers. So it's kind of fits a different part of like the wardrobe aspiration piece, where it's a little bit more obtainable. It's way more obtainable, and in some ways serves as like a bit of a gateway drug. Like if you're into if the idea of obtaining the clout of being a closer and stomping around in your horse bits, if that appeals to you, it's only a matter of time before things really escalate from there.
See a little wrist candy, then you leave the office and they're like, what do we hear in the garage? What is this?
Exactly. It all comes together. I mean, we all want to be the Greenwich bro taking the Land Rover into the city, GMT on the wrist, Gucci on the feet.
Little Ford GT at home for the weekends.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing but a big thing. Just a couple deals.
Maybe a few little classic GT350 to go with it. You got to keep it American.
I like.
Yeah, but no, big fan of the horse bit loafer. Not rocking any right now. We got the common projects going today, but I do think there's a right time and a right place for rocking a pair of horse bit loafers, because it definitely says that you are conscious of what you're doing. No one just accidentally woke up and bought an $800 pair of horse bit loafers.
Yeah, you can kind of get a vibe, especially at conferences. You're around a bunch of people. There's some peacocking going on, perhaps, and two people could be wearing the same shoes, but you get a different vibe, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I think there's something about like some things are classic for a reason, right? And then it's like deal sleds, horsebit loafers, very interchangeable, yada yada. So you can make some rational bullet points for it. But to your point, nobody's slapping on Gucci or Ferragamo horsebits unless you're getting Gucci or Ferragamo horsebits. So it's like there's some thought process that clearly went into that, and it's just not being a dick, kind of like, are you, people pick up on, is this person trying to be flashy or not, right?
And also, I think what's cooler than a pair of nice horsebit loafers is having a beat up nice pair of horsebits.
Yeah,
something that's been around the block, something that you've worn the crap out of for 10 years, and they just got that nice patina, and you're like, I don't wear these to be flashy. I wear these because this is what I do.
Yeah.
I sled deals. I think that's so cool.
I heard the term deal lube the other day on a company call. So like, just put a little deal lube on it, slide it through the pipeline.
Grease it up.
Ain't nothing but a thing.
A lot of things come to mind when you think of deal lube.
All right, Diddy party conversation on the Patreon for deal sleds. I have one pair of black Gucci horsebit loafers. Admittedly, they're dusty. There's a line from my finger. I was like, "Are these dusty?" And I drew and I was like, "I've not worn those in forever." I've been wearing. I love Common Projects. I actually got a steal in Dallas. My sister and I, along with her husband, were walking through a place, and I saw a sale rack with some like Tar Heel blue Common Projects.
Ooh,
lady walks up 10 seconds later before I can even look at the price to see what they're marked down from or marked down to. And she goes, "Those are on sale for $185." And I was like, "These are size 45? Check." I was like, "I'll take them." Steal.
Done and done.
Yeah, it was like a bit of a crazy color, but I was like, $185 for Common Projects?
That's too good to pass up.
Yeah. Most of my loafers now, though, I do have one pair of Gucci brown ones, but again, the horsebits I'm not wearing a ton. It's just penny loafers, I don't have summer walks, but more summer walk vibe.
Yeah.
Like Hermes, John Lobb. I think most, or the loafer I have in most quantity, or dress shoe I have in most quantities, John Lobb. It's like an old English brand.
Yep.
Like they've been making dress shoes for a minute.
Classy stuff.
Yeah, and like
a little different silhouette than the Italian makers as well.
It is, and bomb proof. Like quality of materials is crazy, and just recraft it until the day I die. Mm-hmm. So it's like, sure, it's like that. I think that was a $1,200 dress shoe, but that's my black dress shoe. Check.
That is a good thing to invest in, having just a solid black, like just a, not solid regarding the color, but solid regarding construction and versatility, going just for a black dress shoe that will carry you forever. Yeah. Because that's one of those things that feels expensive at the time, but in 10 years, when you need to go throw a tux on for something that you never anticipated, a gala that you never thought you'd be invited to, or a wedding or whatever. You're just like, oh, I got this in the bag. Got that pair of, got that black, cap toe John Lobb, or, whatever brand you want to go with. Like, you got it. It's there. And you can, like in a lot of office settings, like you can daily those. If you really want to, you could wear those 2-3 days a week if you needed to. Neither of us are really in that kind of setting right now. We're a lot more sneakers, which is how I ended up with these. But it's something that's I think it's crucial to have. And inevitably, if you really want to be a sales professional, you're at some point going to have a professional setting that calls for something like that. Like if you stick with it, you're going to get yourself in a room where you're like, I probably should have like a nice formal shoe for this. And you don't want to be scrambling, going out the door, trying to buy something, before your interview or your closing or whatever it is.
Yeah, invest in the staples. There's a difference between $100 dress shoe and a $300 plus recraftable.
Yeah,
dress shoe.
I really think I would say like Allen Edmonds is kind of like the minimal acceptable quality.
Yeah.
You got to have a Goodyear welt for something like that. You got to have a reasonable quality of leather. I think Allen Edmonds is kind of like the minimal. Like I would say that's like, you can definitely go up from there, but you probably shouldn't go to anything that's considered a lesser brand from there either.
Yeah. I have some personal umbrage against Cole Haan.
Dude, I was buying Cole Haans back in college, and I had one pair that I admittedly wore way too long, but I wore them the whole summer where I was knocking door to door to sell ads to businesses in student planners, and they started squeaking on me. Just every single step they would squeak. And, this is not necessarily an indictment of their quality because, like I said, I wore them way too much in unbearable heat, and they never actually like completely failed, but they started squeaking, and it drove me nuts.
That's comical. Your big ass strolling up the street. You're like, wait.
Hey, could I speak with whoever's in charge of your marketing? I think it would be really interesting to get you guys in front of our 2,000 person student body. The ad's only $1,500.
Selling violently.